Be honest with yourself for a moment. Have you ever walked out of the salon, looked in the mirror, and quietly wondered why your new haircut somehow made you look older instead of younger? It happens more often than people think. The truth is, the wrong haircut can easily add years to your appearance. Sometimes 5 years. Sometimes even 10. But the right haircut can do the exact opposite. It can brighten your face, soften your features, and bring back a sense of lightness that makes you look refreshed almost instantly. And after 60, those small differences matter more than ever. Hair isn't just about fashion. It's about identity, confidence, and the quiet message we send to the world about how we see ourselves. But here's something many women don't realize. As we age, our hair changes. It becomes finer, sometimes drier. The density shifts, and the styles that looked beautiful at 40 may not work the same way anymore. That doesn't mean you have to give up style. In fact, quite the opposite. With the right haircut, you can highlight your best features, create natural lift around the face, and bring back movement that instantly feels youthful and elegant. In today's video, we're going to explore 3 haircuts that can make women over 60 look noticeably fresher and more vibrant. And just as importantly, we'll talk about 3 hairstyles that many women unknowingly keep, even though they can subtly age the face. This isn't about trying to look 25 again. It's about embracing your age with grace while choosing styles that work with you, not against you. So stay with me until the end, because once you understand why certain cuts create a youthful impression, you'll never look at hairstyles the same way again. And if you enjoy thoughtful style advice designed especially for women over 60, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path for more tips that help you look and feel your best. Let's begin with one of the most timeless and flattering haircuts, the soft layered bob. If there's one haircut that consistently makes women over 60 look refreshed and elegant, it's the soft layered bob. There's something beautifully balanced about this style. It's polished without being stiff, modern without trying too hard, and incredibly versatile for different hair textures. The magic of the layered bob lies in its movement. Instead of hair falling in one heavy block, gentle layers allow the strands to move naturally. That movement catches the light and creates a soft frame around the face. And when hair moves, it sends a subtle signal of vitality and energy. Typically, this cut sits somewhere between the chin and the shoulders. That length is important. When hair is too long, gravity can pull the visual focus downward, which sometimes emphasizes areas like the jawline or neck. But when the length stays around the chin or collarbone, the eye is naturally drawn upward toward the cheekbones and eyes. That simple shift can instantly make the face appear lighter and more youthful. Another advantage of the layered bob is how adaptable it is. For women with fine hair, the layers create the illusion of fullness. Instead of lying flat against the scalp, the hair gains gentle lift and dimension. For thicker hair, the layers remove excess weight, so the style feels lighter and easier to manage. And if you have natural waves or soft curls, the bob allows them to fall into shape beautifully without looking messy. Many stylists also recommend adding soft side-swept bangs with this cut. These delicate fringe pieces soften the forehead and bring attention to the eyes without hiding your expression. Styling the layered bob is surprisingly simple. A quick blow-dry with a round brush can create elegant volume. Letting it air dry with a bit of styling cream can produce a relaxed, natural texture that feels modern and effortless. Color can enhance this cut even more. Subtle highlights or lowlights woven through the layers add depth, making hair appear thicker and more dimensional. But perhaps the most powerful thing about the layered bob isn't just how it looks. It's how it feels. Women often say this haircut makes them feel lighter, more put together, and quietly confident. It doesn't shout for attention. It simply works in harmony with the face. And that quiet elegance is exactly what makes it timeless. Now moving on to a shorter style that can be incredibly empowering. The voluminous pixie. For many women, the idea of cutting their hair short can feel intimidating. But when a pixie cut is done correctly, with softness and volume, it can be one of the most transformative hairstyles after 60. The key word here is volume. A well-designed pixie keeps extra length at the crown of the head. These layers create lift, which visually elongates the face and gives the appearance of fuller hair. Without that volume, short hair can fall flat. But with it, the style becomes lively and flattering. Another beautiful thing about the pixie cut is how it highlights facial features. When hair is shorter, the eyes, cheekbones, and smile naturally become the center of attention. Many women notice that their face suddenly looks brighter and more expressive. But softness is extremely important with this haircut. The edges should never look harsh or overly blunt. Instead, the hair should be feathered and lightly textured, so it blends naturally around the hairline. Side-swept bangs also play an important role here. They soften the forehead and create a graceful transition from the crown to the sides. A pixie cut can also be surprisingly versatile. During the day, a little mousse or texturizing cream can add lift and a slightly tousled look that feels relaxed and youthful. For special occasions, smoothing the top with a styling brush or serum can create a more refined and elegant finish. Another wonderful aspect of this haircut is how freeing it feels. Many women say they spend less time styling their hair, but still feel more polished. It's a haircut that combines practicality with personality. Color can elevate the pixie even further. Short hair shows dimension beautifully, so subtle highlights or embracing natural silver tones can make the texture look rich and striking. Psychologically, the pixie communicates confidence. It tells the world that you're comfortable in your own skin and not afraid to embrace a fresh chapter of life. And often, that quiet confidence is what truly makes someone look younger. Next, let's talk about a wonderful option for women who still love longer hair. The long layered shag. Many women feel emotionally connected to their long hair. It represents femininity, familiarity, and personal style developed over many years. And the good news is, you don't have to give up length to look youthful. But the way long hair is cut makes all the difference. That's where the layered shag comes in. This haircut keeps the length you love while introducing layers that create movement, body, and texture. Instead of hanging like a heavy curtain, the hair begins to move and bounce naturally. Those layers break up the weight of the hair and add life to the overall look. Face framing pieces are especially important here. Soft layers around the cheekbones and jawline gently shape the face and guide attention upward toward the eyes. This subtle framing effect can instantly soften the appearance of aging features. The shag is particularly flattering for women with natural waves or curls, because the layers remove excess weight. Curls are free to spring up naturally rather than being pulled down by heavy lengths. For women with fine hair, the shorter layers on top create the illusion of thickness. The light reflects differently across each layer, making the hair appear fuller. The most flattering length for this style usually falls around the shoulders or slightly below. This keeps enough length for styling flexibility, while avoiding the dragging effect that extremely long hair can sometimes create. Curtain bangs or wispy side bangs pair beautifully with this cut. They blend seamlessly into the layers and soften the forehead without looking severe. Styling the layered shag can be incredibly simple. Air drying with a texturizing spray often creates a relaxed, effortless look. A curling wand can add soft waves for special occasions, while a smooth blow-dry can produce a more polished finish. Another advantage is how forgiving this haircut is as it grows out. Unlike very precise styles, the shag often looks even better after a few weeks, as the layers relax and settle naturally. The result is a hairstyle that feels playful, vibrant, and full of movement. And movement, more than almost anything else, is one of the strongest visual signals of youth. Now let's talk about a haircut that many women choose for convenience, yet it can sometimes create the opposite effect. The overly harsh short crop. Short hair itself is not the problem. In fact, as we've discussed, shorter styles like the pixie can be incredibly flattering. The issue appears when the haircut becomes too severe. An extremely close crop with very sharp edges leaves almost no room for softness. Without texture or gentle layers, the hair sits very tightly against the scalp. And that closeness can highlight facial lines, shadows, and areas of natural sagging more than you might expect. Hair normally acts as a soft frame around the face. But when that frame disappears, the eye focuses directly on every contour of the skin. Another subtle effect is that ultra-short cuts sometimes create a more rigid or masculine silhouette, especially when the edges are very blunt. For women who prefer a softer, more feminine appearance, this can feel slightly out of harmony with their personal style. Many women choose this haircut because it seems low maintenance. And while it's certainly easy to manage, convenience doesn't have to mean harshness. A better alternative is often a long pixie or a textured shortcut that keeps a little more length at the crown and around the fringe. Those extra layers provide softness and allow the hair to move slightly, which instantly creates a more flattering effect. Even a few centimeters of added length can make a dramatic difference. The goal with short hair isn't just to make it easy to style. It's to create balance. Soft edges, gentle volume, and light texture can maintain the practicality of short hair while still framing the face beautifully. So if you're drawn to very short styles, remember this simple rule. Short can be youthful, but soft short is almost always more flattering than severe short. Another hairstyle worth discussing is long haircut in one heavy length with no layers. At first glance, long hair may seem like the ultimate symbol of femininity, and it absolutely can be beautiful at any age. But when long hair is cut in a single solid length with no layering, it often creates a surprisingly aging effect. The reason has a lot to do with weight and movement. Hair that falls in one heavy block tends to hang straight down like a curtain. This pulls the visual focus toward the lower part of the face and neck. As we age, that downward emphasis can unintentionally highlight areas where natural skin changes occur. Another challenge is that one-length hair often lacks movement. Without layers, the strands don't bounce or shift with natural motion. Instead, the hair can appear flat or lifeless, especially if the ends begin to thin. Fine hair may look stringy, while thick hair may appear heavy and overwhelming. Color can also play a role here. When long hair is all one tone with no highlights or dimension, it sometimes appears thinner than it actually is. The eye doesn't see depth or texture. But the solution is not to abandon long hair entirely. It's simply to introduce shape. Adding long, soft layers removes excess weight and allows the hair to move naturally. Face framing pieces around the cheekbones can lift the visual focus upward and create a far more youthful silhouette. Even subtle curtain bangs or gentle side layers can dramatically transform how long hair frames the face. Stylists often recommend light internal layering combined with soft highlights or balayage to create the illusion of fullness. This combination adds depth, dimension, and brightness without sacrificing length. Long hair can absolutely remain elegant after 60, but giving it shape and movement is what allows it to look vibrant instead of heavy. And finally, let's talk about a hairstyle that was once extremely popular, but can sometimes feel dated today. The rigid helmet-style bob. You may recognize this look immediately. It's the perfectly rounded bob that sits very close to the head, with every strand carefully set into place. While it can look polished at first glance, the problem is that it rarely moves. The shape stays fixed, almost like a shell around the head. And when hair lacks movement, it can create a visual barrier between the face and the world. Youthful hair typically has softness, bounce, and natural flow. But the helmet-style bob often appears stiff and overly structured. Because the cut is usually blunt and uniform, it can also emphasize strong lines around the jaw or cheekbones rather than softening them. In some cases, the rounded shape makes the head appear smaller while the face appears wider, which may not be the most flattering balance. Another issue is that this style can unintentionally feel dated. Many women adopted this haircut decades ago and simply kept the same shape for years. Over time, what once felt stylish can begin to look stuck in the past. But the solution is very simple. Instead of abandoning the bob entirely, the key is to modernize it. Adding internal layers, slightly feathered ends, and a soft off-center part can completely transform the look. A modern bob should move when you turn your head. It should feel light, natural, and slightly effortless rather than perfectly frozen in place. Even a gentle tousled finish can make the style feel contemporary and vibrant again. Hair should frame the face like a soft brushstroke, not like a rigid frame. And when that softness returns, the entire appearance becomes warmer and more youthful. The truth is, the right haircut can quietly transform how you look and how you feel. It's not about chasing youth or trying to look like someone you were decades ago. It's about choosing styles that highlight your natural beauty today. Haircuts with softness, movement, and thoughtful layers tend to lift the face, brighten the eyes, and create that subtle sense of energy we associate with youth. On the other hand, styles that are too heavy, too rigid, or too severe can unintentionally emphasize the very features we're trying to soften. Sometimes the difference between looking older and looking refreshed isn't dramatic at all. It might simply be a few layers, a softer fringe, or a little more movement. And those small adjustments can change everything. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path for more insights on style, confidence, and living beautifully at every age. And tell me in the comments, which haircut are you most curious to try next?